Aditema, all invited guests, and of course our hosts, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me much pleasure to be here tonight. As I was listening to Lawrence talk about his company, the point I wanted to make, of course, because tonight is an awards night, is that any organization is as strong as the people that work within it. And I think it's no organization, you can have many assets, you can have a lot of infrastructure, you can have machinery, etc. But if you don't have the right people, if you don't have the trained people and the right people at the right place at the right time, then your company won't in fact be effective. And tonight's gathering, of course, is all about that. It's about the recognition of those people who contributed towards this company doing as well as it has done so far. From government's perspective, we've always had an approach to liberalize the economy. And liberalizing the economy means not just opening it up, opening up the economy, for example, removing tariff barriers, duties, etc. It also meant the creating an environment where Fijian companies, expatriate companies can participate on a level playing field. As you know, and I want to be frank with you, about 10, 15 years prior to this, only a handful of companies actually got contracts. Only a handful of companies actually got the opportunity, for example, to participate in the infrastructure process. And there were two reasons for this. One of them, of course, was that we had very big and large government departments. In fact, they were quite inefficient. And the second reason, of course, was that those that did get a peek into the work that was available could only do so through corrupt means. There was no open tendering process. Even if it was, there was a lot of deals that were done behind the scenes. And in fact, I want to tell you a story today. This afternoon, I met some people who somebody had referred them to me in Nadi, and some person had some plight. They had some issues going on. They wanted me to address it, and I said to please email me the details, and we'll talk to the respective agency. And then the other person said to me, I put in this tender for this work at some municipal council. Can you please make sure I get it? So you see that culture with some of the business people still has not gone. And we must ensure that we eliminate that approach to business, because it creates inefficiency, it obviously is corrupt, and obviously it means that the taxpayers' funds aren't actually spent efficiently. As Lawrence was saying, that in this particular period since COVID-19, government revenue, of course, has been very much stifled by the fact that our borders shut down, we do not have tourism. When you don't actually have your major revenue earner contributing to the revenue base, then the government revenues will significantly drop. However, despite that, we made a policy decision to say that we will still continue with a lot of the infrastructure work. Because people still need access to roads, they still need access to bridges, they still need access to water, they still need access to electricity. So maybe the quantum of work, there was the number of projects were perhaps reduced, but the fact is that we still continued with it. It would have been very easy for us to completely stop it, and would have significantly saved a lot of money in our books, but the services to the people would have stopped. It's the responsibility of any government to ensure that we continue with those basic services. In the same way, even with this pandemic, we still continued with free education. We still continue with free medical services. Now have GPs in Nadi, that those people who used to go to a public health center or hospital, they can now go and see a private GP, and we actually pay for that. Because the socio-economic fabric of any country must always be maintained. And through infrastructure, obviously, we can do that. So I would like to, of course, thank Promex for their work. I mean, a lot of the work, of course, when we opened up or set up FRA, many people talked about, you're allowing a lot of foreign companies to come in. But our position always was, Foreign companies sometimes bring in their know-how, the knowledge, the experience, the technology that we as Fijians don't have. However, over a period of time, that knowledge base, that experience gets transferred to local companies. Local companies learn from them, they adapt to them, they use the technology, and therefore then we have local companies such as this tonight that was able to perhaps learn from companies like MWH or whatever those companies were, and to pick up that knowledge base. And I think that's critically important. So as a country, as a society, we should always be open to new ideas. We should always be open to new technology, new ways of doing things, as long as it is improving the way that we currently are doing things. And in all of this, ladies and gentlemen, we've got lots of plans in respect of infrastructure. In all of this, what we do require is stability. Stability in terms of the laws that are being implemented, stability in terms of the policies that are being implemented, stability in terms of the infrastructure works, the work that needs to be carried out. All of that is critically important. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank, of course, all of you for attending tonight. I'd like to thank Lawrence and his team for setting up this business. And I'm sure there's been a lot of learnings from it. I'm sure he's obviously grown in that business. And I'd like to, in particular, thank all the staff that actually work in his organization. As I said in the beginning, without you, the company is nothing. And therefore, I think as a good employer, any good employer will always invest firstly in their staff. They'll make sure that they're rewarded well. They'll make sure that there are particular training programs available for them. They'll make sure that there's a relationship that's developed. It's not an antagonistic relationship, but an environment where both the employer and employee are able to learn of each other.
Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause?